Welcome to Top Tier Wrestling, your ultimate destination for all things AEW and WWE. Whether you're a hardcore wrestling fanatic or just a casual viewer, we've got you covered with the latest news, in depth show reviews, and our unfiltered opinions on everything happening in the world of professional wrestling. Join us as we dive into the high octane action, dramatic storylines, and backstage buzz of AEW and WWE. Get ready to step into the ring with us and stay on top of the wrestling world. This is Top Tier Wrestling. Guten Tag, jabronis. Welcome to the Top Tier Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Dawn Flair. You see it. You see it. Joined as always by the face of the podcast, Stone Cold Joshin. We're here to talk wrestling and chew bubblegum, and guess what? We're fresh out of bubblegum. So lace up your boots, cue the pyro, and let's suplex our way into Monday Night Raw for August 25th. Bells rung, y'all. Let's get into it.
And that's the bottom line, cause top tier wrestling
Said so.
said so. I mean, you did call me Stone Cold Josh Stin.
I did.
I like
I
it.
know. I knew what I was doing.
You hit us with some Guten Tag. Is that because they happen to be in Europe right now?
No.
Oh. Well, I ascribed more meaning than necessary.
Yeah,
And besides-
it was a coinky ding.
Well,
I mean,
and
that's German, and yeah.
I believe the proper greeting for England is "Oi!"
Oi, pricks!
But this
Oi!
particular,
Oi, you couple of knobs! Yeah,
oi, bruv.
bruv, mate, bruh. All right. Anyway.
Well, for this particular episode of Monday Night Raw, it is coming to us from the BP Pulse Arena in Birmingham, not Alabama, England, the original one.
Birmingham. He's got to say
That might be how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
Like it. That may not be how it's pronounced.
Birmingham.
And this episode starts us off with the tribal chief. And we were wondering if the audience had show notes because they were chanting OTC before his music even queued up. And we were like, how'd they know?
Yeah. They knew. They felt it. They felt a presence in the air.
They did. They were
Several
like, oh,
women.
right. Oh, my one's going up. Oh, I know what's happening.
Several women are now pregnant with Samoan babies.
Oh, man. That makes Naomi feel in good company.
Well, I mean, she's married. Yeah, she's married to a Samoan. She knows what it's like. She knows.
But the Birmingham crowd did not disappoint. They were on their feet for the tribal chief. TC1, which they still call OTC, so I'm not sure which one we're going with, but they're both good. Roman makes his way to the ring, and man, Birmingham acknowledged the crap out of the tribal chief.
Yeah, they
before
spent
he
a
said
lot of
anything.
time. Yeah, they spent a lot of time acknowledging my man. Like, I was surprised that he even asked. I was like, well, you ain't gotta ask, because I mean, they have been acknowledging your ass for like 10 minutes. Like,
Yeah,
this is the
real
show
talk.
right now. Just them acknowledging you. And he was
Yep.
very proud about it.
He was. And into the meat and potatoes of what Roman had to say, the great words of our tribal chief. Did you want me to cover that, or did you? Because I think you shared some notes with me that makes me think you want to.
Oh yeah, here. I mean, I got the whole like summary right here.
Let's hear it.
Proud. Yeah. Roman Reigns
Birmingham.
addressed the Birmingham crowd. He acknowledged his recent setbacks. He praised Jey Uso's rise. He confirmed Jay's spot in the Fatal 4-Way at Clash in Paris. But then he got interrupted by Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed. And Heyman mocked Reigns' isolation and hyped Reed's dominance. Reed declared he was the Samoan Reigns' family warned him about. And then they ended up in a physical altercation where Reigns and Reed they brawled for a bit. It ended with Reigns landing a Superman punch and a spear because it's the tribal chief. And I mean, this was all set up to give us some more Clash in Paris build up. And they for some reason decided to uh make Reigns versus Bronson Reed official, which I thought it was. I thought it was like Friday Night SmackDown official or like last Monday official. Like I thought they had already done that, but they made sure
Yeah.
to confirm that this time. So that was pretty much Reigns' segment. And I mean, my man ate up every bit of the stage per usual. Um, I think the highlight for me is Bronson getting himself some spotlight because he's just as clever.
Yeah.
He's amazing on the mic. He's amazing in the ring. Like I think he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, and I think that's why we're having this happen because this is Roman, putting over Bronson Reed.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's phenomenal because we had just finished like a couple podcasts ago. We were talking about the Vision is made up of a group of champs. Like they
Yeah.
don't need to get lost as just Seth's henchmen. And you kept making the point that like Bronson Reed really needs something to make him stand out because, Seth has them singing his song. Paul Heyman is a Hall of Famer and Big Braun Breaker has the dogs barking and he's got the Steiner last name. So Reed really needed something. And so them coming up with the Tribal Thief and the Shula Fala is choice.
Yeah.
And giving him a chance to shine, I'm with you, 100% great call.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely agree. 158%. And it's got to be 58 for some reason.
I mean, with Bronson Reed, everything's already round, so why not a less than round number?
Yeah, all right, all right. I hear you. Mic work.
But that actually succeeded. I would have been interested in Reigns and Reed exclusively because Reigns, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody would. And now I'm really kind of keen to see how Bronson rises to the challenge. And maybe I shouldn't put it that way because Bronson Reed has been good at whatever he's tried to do, save for jumping 20 feet off of a cage. He was good there. It just broke his ankles. So don't do that no more. But he was good with Seth. Clearly the WWE has faith in him. We've seen that he can be a talented guy on the mic. They can dress him up real sharp too sometimes.
Yeah.
He does great in his promo spots. He absolutely excels in the ring. So I'm hoping, I shouldn't say he rise to this occasion. I hope he keeps that same momentum and that same performance level getting into the ring with Roman because they are really trying to show us that this is a guy that should be at the top. Just don't break him no more. Like he's 330 pounds. He does not need to come flying off of anything more than 10 foot high, period. And that might be too much.
Real talk. You can't. You guys can't be having him flying in the air and shit and can't do that. I mean, yes, he can jump once or twice from the top rope, but don't be having him fucking climbing like steel cage. And in Paris there's like an Empire State Building match or not the Empire and like they're supposed to jump at the very
the Eiffel Tower match.
top. Eiffel Tower, thank you. I'm so freaking American. Eiffel Tower, like nobody wants that, so don't do that, please.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I know that you guys really, really love to have your giant wrestlers do shit that they shouldn't be doing. Like you got Gunther doing that goofy looking frog splash. I know that you guys really love that, but you can't do it with some of them, as some of them are built like Tonka trucks, like giant, angry Tonka trucks. Quit making them crash into the ground. Thank you.
Yeah, well, and in particular with the cages, and this might sound like I'm talking out of both sides of my face for a second, but let me clarify. Because I'm always comparing like the in ring of AEW, and it's like, oh, so now you want them to rein it in. I want them to be able to do it and do it safely.
Yep.
You know, what makes anyone think Bronson Reed at 330 pounds needs to be splashing off the top of the cage when much more average weight individuals like Adam Copeland and Jimmy Uso can do the same thing and end up with a broken foot or a broken toe? How did they vision that that was going to go? So,
Yeah.
yeah, if you can't
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
these stunts safely, WWE, then don't fucking do them. Um, I mean, I don't know what else to say to that. I mean,
Yeah.
injuries
No,
do
I
happen, but like these jumps off the top of the cages happen a lot. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
and for what it's worth, I don't think it's worth costing you one of your superstars for months on end in some cases.
Agreed.
So maybe decide if, yeah, maybe have an interview with Jackie Chan and have him tell you which stunts are worth dying for. It's not going to be these damn falls off the top of the cage, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But that said, I am. I think it did its job in setting up some heat between Reigns and Reed, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
But after that, we are taken to Finn Balor and JD McDonough in the backstage area, who find Dominic Mysterio having another private conversation with El Grande Americano. And Finn is all like, "What's going on here?" And Dom says to Finn, and I quote,
Don't
"Don't
trip,
trip, chocolate
Chuck.
chip." And we were both like, "What? What did he say?"
Yeah, I don't know, but I know I'm still in it.
Yeah, that's a good
I
one.
know that. I have so many chocolate chips in my life that I can say it. I myself am a chocolate chip, and I come from a family of chocolate chips, and we got little tiny chocolate chips, and I can just tell them all, "Hey,
Yeah,
don't trip,
yeah,
chocolate chip."
yeah. Well,
They'll be
you're
like,
one of
"Which
the
one?"
you're the sweetest chocolate chip I know. That's all I got.
Ah, ah,
But
ah.
I digress. Um, After he says that, Dom basically tells Finn not to worry about it. He's just trying to make sure, the Judgment Day stays on top, and he'll catch up with the Judgment Day later on, and they fist bump, and that's that. Which leads us into our first match of the night, which is JD McDonough with Finn Balor in tow,
McDougal.
versus Dragon Lee.
And if I may,
You may.
I thought, like, I'll be brief because what I say is usually the same thing if I like it, and if I don't, it's the same. I liked this match. I'm not really super duper up on Dragon Lee, nor do I like his tiny wings. Um, I see his wings and I think Puff the Magic Dragon. Uh, they're small. They're small. They're small wings. Listen, I'm hey, cool on you if you like your tiny wings. I'm saying that I focused on them too much maybe, and was tripping on how small they were. But aside from that, because I'm not here to judge that, and that's just the stoner part of me. The match itself was actually pretty damn good. Dragon Lee did better than I would have given him credit for, and he worked very well with JD McDonough. Um, there were some flubs throughout the night that I kept seeing. Small little aggressions, but like not nothing super crazy, and I didn't really recall seeing anything too dangerous. Uh, Monday night, nor did I see it in this match either. But I thought they worked pretty well together. I would give this match probably like 4 out of 5, like if we were gonna rate it like that. Um, and I thought it was pretty good. We did have interferences from Finn Balor, who got ejected early on. Dominic Mysterio tried to interfere, but AJ was like, "Hell no!" Um,
You said that exactly.
yeah, like he actually said that, guys. If you didn't see it, I suggest you go back and watch it. You'll hear him. You'll hear him in the back. He wasn't on camera when he said it, but you know it's AJ. Anyway, this I think was supposed to be like a clash build up, um, because he might have a tag title contention coming up. Uh, we'll see. But honestly, pretty good opener. Actually, a little bit better than pretty good. It was a good opener. It was nice. It was awesome. And JD, before I forget, because I've written this down. JD, I said it before, he's underrated, but honestly, I just feel like I have to keep stressing this. And I think even the commentator said it this time. Like he is not only just a
Mhm.
workhorse, but he has earned his rightful place, man, amongst the superstars of WWE. I hope, I hope they know the gem they have in this particular wrestler. He is above and beyond every single time. He could wrestle Monday through Thursday twice a day, and when it came to Friday's match, he would still give 110%. Like that dude is phenomenal. If he sticks with it, a Hall of Famer down the road. Like honestly, and putting him with Finn Balor, chef's kiss there. Putting him in Judgment Day, at first I was like, I don't know. No, putting him in Judgment Day, my friend, just chef's kiss, just amazing. And that's all I have to say about that. Boop boop.
Well, for my take on it, I largely agree. I think these are two of their underrated stars.
Mm-hmm.
JD McDonough has consistently impressed me since he's been pulled to the main roster, and
Yep.
that took some doing because we hated his ass for the little bit that we
Ah,
saw in
it's
NXT.
true.
Same
Oh
same with
God,
Joe Gacy.
yes.
Um, and JD
Oh
McDonough has really shown up and shown out. Like he is a workhorse. Like he is crazy good for where he's at
yeah.
and can only go up, I think, as long as he can stay healthy.
Yeah. And
Um
in JD's defense, it was not necessarily JD himself or his wrestling techniques in the ring. It was the character they gave
yeah.
him
Yeah.
in
No, it was.
NXT. The whole like lover of pain type bullshit and
Yeah,
like
they
him
just made
supposed to
him
be
weird and
creepy.
creepy.
Yeah, and we were just like, please. He's already creepy looking. He's got this giant little bowling ball of a head. Like, can we not? What are we doing with him? We did not
Yeah,
care for that. It was an immediate turn off.
but now they've gotten him to get kind of over
Yeah,
with people by just showing up and showing out and putting
yeah,
in the work. And it's seen and it's appreciated. I don't have any idea if what I have to say matters to JD McDonough or if he'll ever hear it, but it is seen and it's appreciated, my dude. Um Now that brings me to Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee disappointed me initially because I had seen a bit of him over in AEW, so I had high expectations for him coming over.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they proceeded to stick him in LWO, and he's been mediocre ever since. Um,
Yep.
I mean, I don't know what they're trying to do with him. I also don't think it's a great idea to use the hidden blade as your signature because instead of thinking of Dragon Lee, all I'm thinking is about Will Ospreay and how you're just riffing on him.
Yeah.
You might want to change that up, would be my recommendation, because you're just going to make anybody familiar with Will Ospreay think of Will Ospreay and not Dragon Lee. I hope he can get creative and go somewhere because it was one thing when he was the luchador that got brought over from AEW, but he has now got the competition of Penta, El Cerro Miedo, and Ray Phoenix, and both of those guys smoke him.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to level up, and I haven't necessarily seen that from him in the same way as JD McDonough. I hope for it though.
Yeah. You and me both.
But that match, despite the thwarted interference ended up resulting in a win for Mr. Dragon Lee because Finn getting ejected didn't help JD's cause, but then Dominique getting attacked by AJ Styles outside the ring actually distracted JD McDonough, allowing Dragon Lee to get him into the ring, hit him with I don't know what he calls it, but it's the hidden blade, and then sets up Operation Dragon
Yeah.
and gets the 1-2-3 on JD McDonough. Um, Not a bad match, to be honest.
No.
But following that match, we are taken backstage to Jackie Redmond, who has an interview with Locka Nugget, LA
My
Knight.
nigga.
And Jackie very tactfully brings up the fact that CM Punk accidentally, air quotes, put LA Knight through a table last week. And Knight says that Jackie is making some assumptions here. She's assuming that it was an accident, but Knight thinks it may have been on purpose. And Knight initially was willing to give Punk the benefit of the doubt, but then he decided to shrug his shoulders. And while Knight may agree with the sentiment that they should all be working together against the Vision, Punk has made that where it can't happen now. And he knows that Punk is hungry for that title, but he doesn't care about being in Punk's orbit. And it just reinforces that we're definitely looking at an every man for themselves situation here. And Knight goes on to reinforce that in Paris, you'll see Knight become the new world heavyweight champion.
You think he's gonna do it?
I kind of hope so, but I doubt very seriously that anyone's getting that belt off Seth. That's the only problem. I think Knight would be a great heavyweight champion. I just don't think it's coming off Seth real quick. And Knight closed out the interview, saying that the Vision deemed him as the only worthy person to wrestle Braun Breaker, on Monday night with Clash in Paris coming up just this week. And I thought that was weird because I was like, well, didn't Jade just get finished wrestling Bronson Reed? The Brawns are getting in my head. Like last Monday. So I mean, like each member has had to go against a member of the Vision leading up to this. I'm not sure I understand why LA Knight was complaining here or that he was particularly singled out in this instance, other than the fact that it's getting closer to Clash in Paris.
Yeah. That's the only thing I could think.
No. But closing out that interview, we are taken to a video promo of Rusev. And was that one you wanted to speak to, or shall I?
Oh, please go ahead. You know I already. Guys, I'm sorry. I'll just tell you right now, I am not a fan of Rusev. I wasn't a fan of him in AEW. I am not a fan of him here. He's incoherent. His matches are okay. He looks like he smells like old cats. And I generally don't like the promos he cuts. I just like I know, and I mean I don't know. I don't know what it is. He's just not. He's not it. Not to me. And now they got him stuck in this feud with Sheamus. And I'm like, yeah, because Sheamus couldn't be doing literally any fucking thing else worth a damn. That's cool. Let's put him into these matches that are exactly the same match, just in different areas. You know, like what they did with Carmelo Hayes and
Andrade?
yeah, Andrade. Yeah, long story short, I'm just not a fan of Rusev, man. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, my issues with Rusev are that he is back with his like fallen paladin kind of character.
He's
And
never
so
left it.
he's
That's all he ever
well, no,
does.
no, no. I'm saying back because in the WWE in his first run, he was not this character. That was something he developed in AEW, and we didn't like it there, and he brought it
Uh,
over here, and we still don't like it. And so this character is just weird, and he's about as incoherent as we felt was the case for the longest time with Karrion Cross, where it's like you said a whole lot of word salad crap that didn't mean anything. That hasn't been the case with Carrion for a while, but it was at a certain point in time, and we were like, this dude's why what? So Rusev's character isn't really getting over with us, and for as big as he is, I wish he was more of a like a power style wrestler. Like he does a lot of kicks and like some submission crap, and not enough bombs and slams and all that for me. And Sheamus, I love to pieces because like him as a character and his characters are all great. Um, I think I said this not all that long ago. Like I don't love the brogue kick, at least not the way I love moves that are closer to like the Celtic Cross or the Outsider Edge or something like that. And so you've got these huge guys
yeah,
that don't do that much power wrestling. They don't do more slams than like Rhea Ripley or Damian Priest, and yet they're
yeah.
gargantuan.
Honestly,
Um,
Rusev doing it like his finisher being a freaking uh submission move. Like,
yeah,
come on, come on. Yeah,
yeah,
of course.
it's the Machka kick into the accolade, which is just a camel clutch. And I mean that I know that's a personal thing. Like other people, I guess, can like other than that. But my two favorite styles of wrestling are pure power, which is a whole lot of slamming and throwing the shit out of somebody, a la Brock Lesnar,
Yeah,
and old Undertaker. And yes, I know both of those men have some submissions in their arsenal, but they're more well known for tombstone pile drivers, choke slams, last ride power bombs, F5s, and 58 billion different suplexes, which I think is much, much more interesting to watch. And so that's what I'm here for. It's that and like lucha stuff, the flippy shit. I'm a big fan of that. I like that too. Um, the more technical, quote unquote, stuff, and at this day and age, I sort of feel like technical is just code for this is going to be boring as shit. We're going to do like finger fiddly crap, and submissions falls into that for me. I'm never that satisfied when somebody like taps
yeah,
out to a fake ass submission in the WWE or AEW or anywhere outside of UFC's octagon.
yeah,
Whereas the big slams into the mat, you can't fake gravity and the shit looks like it actually hurt. Know what I mean?
yeah, yep,
So I said all that to say that watching Sheamus and Rusev basically have like a not that great big man match again for like the fourth time is not a big draw for me.
yeah,
Um, that said, Rusev in his promo basically says to Sheamus, I was brought into this world trained and conditioned and programmed to crush super athletes. That he is what happens when perfection is sought, but malice is found. And then he goes on to say, so his conscience is clear for what he's about to do because he's finally realized it's impossible to be good when you're destined to be great. Um, talking about how the Donnybrook that Sheamus has requested of him at Clash in Paris.
yeah. Hey,
And then,
I will say that
mhm,
the last sentence that he said was kind of a bar. It's kind of a bar.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
but that's it. Like he just has a whole bunch of ramblings, and then he says one thing that you're like, oh, okay, bet, and that's it. Like I'm gonna tell you right now, if I were on a public bus, he would be the guy that everyone wouldn't want to be next to. He would be the guy that's just in there screaming about being forged from the fires or the bowels of Satan or some weird ass shit, and people would be like, okay, my man, I don't have any spare change right now. That's Rusev.
yeah. And so I'm hoping he can get it together. I really do and win me over.
Hmm.
But
I don't think he can win me over.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I've
well,
seen he's more of the same. So he didn't have the same character whenever he was originally with WWE, but he had the same wrestling. This is
He
him.
did. Yep.
Then he
No,
goes
that's
to
true.
AEW and he does the same thing there. But then it gets weird because him and his ex are just rambling back and forth. Like they both did what they thought were lines of cocaine backstage, but it was like baby powder, and that shit fucked them up. And so they're just rambling like two drunk cats in front of like a live audience. She's talking about her fucking finger. He's talking about being the night of the sun or some fucking psycho shit. And I'm like, I'm not here for this. So then he disappears, and I'm like, oh, yes. No, because then I have to see his crazy ass doing the same thing in WWE. Bruh, I don't
Yeah.
understand how you bring Rusev back, but you get rid of a big man like Strowman. So if you had left him the fuck alone and stopped having him do goofy ass shit that y'all love having big wrestlers do, like running top speed, which was like literally -2 miles per hour for this fucking dude, making him run around the fucking ring to do the same thing that you already have a dude doing. Like, I don't understand y'all. I don't
Yeah.
freaking get it. You want big wrestlers, and then you want them to perform as if they aren't big wrestlers. Like, I don't see you doing that goofy shit with Brock Lesnar. So it's not like you don't understand. You do.
Yeah. And same with like Omos, right?
Where
Who
he
was
at? Who
last
is that?
he was last seen at Triple Mania in AAA as a carnival act, I think this would be called. It was a fun match. I'm not trying to dog that out. And it was good that Omos actually got to be used in a match, but he was throwing a 3-foot super midget guy out in like it wasn't a match, it was a carnival sideshow is what I'm trying to say.
You're not
And
wrong.
if that's all you can think to do with Omos, that's a real shame.
Yep.
And I agree, like they've got big men and they don't have to be big as Omos. I mean, that's a huge man, that's a giant. But you've got big men, but you don't like them having to bump or something, or you want to make them do like crazy shit, like jump out of the ring so that they can break themselves, and it's not
Goofy
worth it.
shit. Like
Like
that,
Andre
like
the
the
Giant never had to jump off the top rope to get anything done. Hell, he could barely get to the middle rope, but he was still damn dominant. Like, play to their strengths instead of thinking it's so cool to make somebody who's like 350 pounds jump over the top rope. Hey, you remember that time the Undertaker just straight dove into the fucking ground? Why? Why make them do that? That's what the little guys do. They're good at it and they can land and they'll bounce instead of break.
Yeah, but they don't. But see, every time they have something that they like, you already have what you need for what you want, and yet you want to take something that's not a part of that and make it do it. Like that's I don't know what that is, but that's something WWE loves to do in many freaking avenues. You want your high flyers sometimes to act like they're power wrestlers, like pick people up and slam them and stuff. And then you want your big
Yeah.
people to do shit like jump off the top rope, like I keep going there, but like Gunther, and I keep going there because that shit looks goofy.
Goofy Gunter.
Yeah, you want
It
that? Do you
does.
want that chant?
It
Like, I mean,
does because
seriously.
he doesn't throw like we can watch Angelo Dawkins and Rey Mysterio and several other people throw a frog splash that looks amazing. And then Gunter just basically belly flops on someone and looks awkward.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
it.
like we're supposed to believe that that's amazing. You know what he does that is pretty cool for a big man that you don't see that often? That damn shotgun drop kick. That looks brutal as hell. Keep that. But I don't see any reason for these massive men to need to go to the top rope for anything other than like a superplex or something. You know,
Yeah.
them doing top rope dives is silly as shit. It's all risk
Listen,
for no reward when they could have just picked up their opponent and slammed them into the mat instead
it's
of putting themselves at risk.
it's unnecessary. Like it's them again putting together two superstars, two single wrestlers, and making them a tag team, as if they don't already have 50 amazing tag teams that now have to compete with extra new tag team. Like, what are we doing?
Well, yeah, I think we
I
spoke to that a
understand.
little bit over on SmackDown, but I agree with you. I mean, it's not
I
the
understand.
best solution.
I understand that it's because of the time and whatnot, but they don't have any problem with using the exact same amount of time to promote shit or put stuff in our faces that
True.
has nothing to do with the show that we're watching. They don't have any problem with that. They'll make the main event match shorter just so they can put in another fucking ad. So I don't want to hear nothing about them not being able to do it. They'll even make a match that ain't a match just so they can say, "Well, we had 5 matches on SmackDown." Like I ain't trying to hear that. Like they can do it. They can do it. But hey, trying to cut budget cuts and, trying to save money where
Mhm.
they can. I mean, at any moment the lights could be cut off at WWE. Just want you to know,
Oh,
man, they
yeah.
are
Yeah.
they are struggling. The Rock is
Uh,
penny pinching right now. You
oh,
guys
yeah,
don't
with
know
those
that?
$70,000 front row WrestleMania tickets, I'm sure they're
You
hurting for cash.
Hey, you guys don't know that? You guys don't know that they're fucking suffering for money? They're doing all they can, man. Like, listen, this is a dark time for them. They are pinching pennies where they can. They've never been so broke before. Said no one fucking ever about WWE. The
No,
closest
not
they
anyone.
got to an issue was when we had COVID. The COVID bullshit that fucking took everybody out. The C word. That's it.
Yeah.
But I would say, and I think you'd agree, that they have recouped just fine. So no
Oh, and
excuse, man.
then some. Yeah, they're making more money than I think they ever have.
No
So
excuse.
I don't.
Like they're pressed for time, and yet they got time to show the famous people in the audience that came to see him. They're running out of time, but they got time to show us an ad for another show that we already know about. That's theirs. Like they come on.
Yeah, or one more goddamn advertisement for Canelo Alvarez versus Crawford. Man, they need to have that boxing match so I can stop seeing them advertise that damn boxing match. Hey, you know what? I don't watch pro wrestling to watch who's going to appear in the boxing. And I also
No.
don't care that TKO is doing the UFC. I don't watch that either. I came to watch fucking Raw.
Yeah.
And like, I swear it feels like we get 2 minutes of the Raw program before we are given another host of commercials.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Like 3
But
minutes of
God
match
forbid,
commercials.
there's not enough time for what we're trying to do. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. It is one long play commercial that has the essence of a wrestling show occasionally. The only saving grace is that on Netflix you can advance it a bit.
Yeah.
Um, but ugh, yeah, it is so commercialized, like ridiculously. And it's not like what are y'all going broke? I mean, shit.
Clearly they going broke. I done told you the money is tight, and they ain't alright.
Yeah. That's
TKO.
that's yeah, it's a shame
TKO
they
ain't
just
holding nothing.
barely had enough money to buy AAA out.
Yeah, just barely, and now they got a penny pinch until WrestleMania. That's why they had to up the prices and whatnot.
Oh, no.
Supply and demand. You see,
I get you. Um,
I demand they lower them damn prices.
yeah, seriously, I remember Randy Orton was kind of upset to find out that that's what's being charged. And apparently it's gotten real tight about like how many tickets like a wrestler can give to their family, because it's like, oh, you
Yeah.
just ate us out for $140,000. Well, Jesus Christ.
Wow. The way you said that was
I said what I said. I said what I said. I'll let it lie. Um,
oh, oh
but
shit.
all of that aside, yeah, the WWE needs to get some shit together. I don't know. Maybe they're hoarding cash for the inevitable fallout of what comes out from the Janelle Grant lawsuit. I don't fucking know, but they
Oh,
act
maybe,
like they are
maybe.
5 seconds from broke, and I just don't get why.
Yeah, any second now. Any second now. They're gonna wake up and all their money will be stolen by the cash gremlin. The
Yeah,
the
who
cash
knows?
gremlin, yeah, he comes only for the super rich and he eats their money overnight. And then when they wake up, they're broke. It's a true story.
Oh well, we're safe. Um, uh,
We'll be all right.
we'll be fine. That particular affliction, I think we're immune. Um,
Oh shit.
but turning our attentions back to Raw for a second, we are taken back after Rusev's promo. We're taken back to the Judgment Day Clubhouse where Finn Balor is scolding Dominic Mysterio for not having JD McDonough's back. And I'm like, okay. And then Dom says he doesn't know why Finn is yelling at him because he was the one that got ejected from ringside. And, Dom was there to try and help, but AJ Styles beat his face into paste. Um, and then Raquel
uh,
tries to play the peacemaker and says that Liv wouldn't want this drama. Yes, what would Liv do should now be the new Judgment Day T-shirt.
yes.
Um,
Bite
and
someone's
and the
ankle.
answer is anyone at any time. Um,
Damn.
Ice cold. Hey, I'm not the one who's portrayed that character that way. Uh, then Dom tells Finn to handle business with AJ Styles tonight, and I'm like, I'm not sure when, because Finn has history with AJ Styles, because they played that card once in the past, right? Send Finn to
Yeah.
go fight AJ off of Dom's ass,
They
and so they played
yes.
it again here tonight. So apparently Finn just gets to go handle AJ Styles whenever anyone in the Judgment Day has got a problem with him. But Finn says he'll go talk to Adam Pearce and make the match official, and Raquel wants Roxanne to lock in because she's got her big match coming up tonight with Rhea Ripley. And both of those matches have zero to do with the next match on the card, which is our second match of the night, which is Penta El Cero Miedo versus Kofi Kingston with Xavier Woods and Grayson Waller at ringside. And did you want to start out with your thoughts on this match, or shall I?
I'll start out.
All right, go ahead.
Um, I was glad this was not the first match. It was kind of a womp womp. Not that it was bad. It's just nothing really happened. Uh, they are they are up to having Penta job now. That's something. Now, granted, it is Kofi Kingston, and I think we even mentioned that to each other when we were watching it. We were like, "Damn, really? Penta's like jobbing now already?" But then I mentioned, yeah, but it is like Kofi Kingston, and like Kofi Kingston has a certain, I don't know why, I don't know what it is about Kofi Kingston versus any other wrestler that's been around as long as he has, but he has a certain air about him where he's going to win a match. Like that's just, I mean, that's just how it is. Like he gets in the ring and most of the time he either wins or something happens where there's interference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the case even when he is a heel. Like that hasn't really changed for him. And this I don't think was any different. However, it's the person they picked for this. And I guess they're telling a story, but I'm not really here for whatever the story is supposed to be. Uh we had interferences from Grayson Waller. He distracted Penta a couple of times. Xavier Woods kept backing Kingston whenever he could. And if I was gonna give this a rating, like as far as like out of like star wise, like out of 5 stars, I think I'd give it like a 3 stars. Because again, I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, it was a match. It was a decent match. I don't even think the audience, which was pretty legit and lively for the night, I don't even think they were really lively here. There was lots of talking and stuff, lots of noise because there were thousands of people in a room. So you're not gonna get total silence. Um, but there wasn't like a whole bunch of shouting and investment in this match. Um,
Mhm.
and it also felt kind of quick. Um, but it felt like a match where we knew what this was. Again, the only surprise here was the fact that they used Penta here. Now I'm assuming that they're trying to do some kind of clash build up. with Kingston and Woods versus Waller and Penta or something. I mean not Waller and Penta, but oh my god, what is that? What is his name? The
Woods?
guy no, the guy that Penta uh
I don't know who you're
yeah,
referring to.
I can't remember his name, but I or am
Austin
I
Theory,
or am
or
I thinking about I think I'm thinking about Penta's brother. Never mind. I'm thinking about Penta's brother now cuz he's in a tag team with Andrade. But I mean, I'm just
mm,
assuming that they're teasing some sort of like match with Penta and one of these gentlemen in New Day. That's all I can that's all I can see here. Um, but I mean, outside of that, again, 3-star match. It was good. It was okay. But I would have been like, what is this? If this were the opener. So I could see why they wouldn't start
yeah.
out here. This was definitely just like your regular, like just a mid card quickie.
Yeah, I think you just took the words right out of my mouth, and that's what makes me sad that they're using Penta here.
Yeah,
I mean, an argument could be made that they're wasting the New Day, but they're absolutely wasting Penta by just sticking him in the like lower mid card for this kind of a match, and to
yeah,
lose to boot. Um, and this wasn't it was an okay match, like you said, it wasn't anything to write home about. There wasn't anything like mind blowing. There was in fact one of the rare flubs that I see from Penta. He went for a head scissors takeover that's, he launches from the apron near the, Kofi he had on the top turnbuckle, and it's like he fell off. And I think they tried to pitch it as Kofi countering it, but I mean, I don't think so. This just looks like they miscommunicated and Penta fell off, and then he had to recover it with like a quick, I think vertical suplex or something, and it was like, "Huh?"
yeah,
And for some reason that isn't explained very well, it's just sort of like, oh my god, he kicked out of it. Penta's able to drill Kofi with the Penta driver, but Kofi just kicks out of it. Like way to bury Penta's finishing move too.
yeah,
Um so this match like just felt throw together and kind of crap, if I'm honest. Like it was low mid card, it wastes Penta entirely. And I mean, all faith and credit to the New Day, but like nobody is showing up specifically to watch Kofi and Xavier wrestle in singles matches.
yeah, yep,
So yeah, this one was a weird one. I think it did more damage to Penta than it did anything for Kofi or the New Day. Um and again, it just randomly buried his Penta driver. Like fuck that guy, right?
yeah. I'm not even sure why. So, again, it was a yeah a nothing burger.
Yeah. Just to quickly summarize how the finish went, Penta hits the Mexican Destroyer, but I believe Grayson Waller causes some sort of distraction. And then off the back of Penta attempting to deal with that distraction, he eats a Trouble in Paradise just straight to the face from Kofi Kingston for the 1-2-3. Like, this was a really mediocre match. I'm like, did Penta piss y'all off or something? Like, what's going
Yeah,
on there? Um, so it was meh, in my opinion, but Kofi Kingston gets the win. And after that, we see Io Sky talking to Rhea Ripley and saying that she's grateful for her help last week, and that while she greatly respects Rhea, the Kabuki Warriors are her family, and so this is causing tensions that make her think that they should keep their distance from one another for a while. And Rhea says to Io, I respect you too, and I understand where you're coming from. And then they hug, and in the background you see the Kabuki Warriors are watching it, and like Asuka is losing her shit. And so it sets the stage for what is going to be a huge misunderstanding because Io's literally telling Rhea that they're going to have to kind of back off because she considers the Kabuki Warriors family, but the Kabuki Warriors, are particularly Asuka, are going to see that as deep betrayal. And we'll speak more about that one, but this particular storyline is weird.
It got weird later. Yeah, like homoerotic weird. Like,
Yeah.
bro,
Yep. Like
it did.
Asuka
Like
is
that vibe
giving
was
like
there.
serious, like jealous girlfriend vibes. It's so weird.
But then not only that, but then they go back later on and remember Io tells Rhea
Hmm.
that they can't hang out anymore. Like they can't be seen with each other. I'm like, okay. So then later on, Rhea is leaning in, rubbing her knee, and Io
Like
is
her
on the
own knee.
other. Yeah, rubbing her own knee. Rhea's rubbing her own knee, and but Io's like leaned in to her, like so, like they're really close to each other,
Like
like they're
Io's
telling
head is not too far from Rhea having her knee up near it.
right. So and then Rhea says something like so much for keeping your distance, and then which is a weird thing to say, and then Io is like, I owe you for the other day. Excuse me, something's in the throat. Um,
Oh,
Io's like, I owe you for the other day, or when you had my back or whatever. And then I don't remember what Rhea says, but she ends it by putting her index finger like running it across Io's chin and then like walking away. And I'm like, what is happening? What?
yeah. So, like, you're not wrong that there's some homoeroticism going on between Rhea and Io. Like I don't know that that's actually the case for them, but it's being kind of portrayed that way. Like, oh, they're
Yeah,
in love or
seriously.
something, you know?
Yeah.
At least the postures and the gestures and such. And Asuka, on the other end, is like this wildly unreasonable, super jealous girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
That just
Kyrie's just there to feel
yelled.
sad that they're having, the parents are fighting. It's like,
Yeah,
what
and
is
Kyrie
happening?
just like she keeps doing the same thing. Uh, Itaku.
It's
Like
a
it's pretty
good.
much the same. It's pretty much the same freaking thing. So I'm like, I'm not sure what's happening, but we are using these ladies for something a tad bit unnecessary. And also, if I could, why is it that whenever you have a female competitor that's dominant, you must then make her masculine in some way? Why does Rhea Ripley now have to be uh the softest butch I've ever done seen? Because you fire them anyway, so I don't even know why the fuck you're trying to put her in that position. She
Right?
doesn't need that. What is it for? Because she can go in the ring, she now has to have a dick? Like I mean, I'm not trying, but I mean, you see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this?
I
She doesn't
do. I
need to
do.
be made masculine for any reason. She's very feminine. She's a gorgeous lady, and we don't need to give her any type of masculine vibe to help or assist with her dominance. She don't need that. She don't need that. So I'm
Yeah.
not
No,
sure
I
what we're
agree.
doing here. And Io, because she's smaller, didn't have to be the soft, doting lipstick lesbian. Like, guys, please, can we stop this bullshit? Can we stop
Yeah.
this?
Yeah. No, it's very weird where they're going with this. Like, I thought it would just be like kind of a fighty thing, but now they're sort of like giving signals that it's going to be like a lover thing. And it's like, why? This is
Sure.
weird.
Like, this is some weird lovers quarrel bullshit. And listen, I expect my weird girl on girl pseudo sexual interactions in the ring to be from AEW, not WWE. Damn it.
Well, not when WWE just went out of their way to fire the lesbians off their roster.
That's what I'm saying. You fire them quick. So I'm not, well, maybe not quick, but I'm saying you got rid of them. So stop this. Get some help.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure where this is going, but I don't like it. Um But following that, we are taken to Adam Pierce, who would like to reassure Stephanie Vaquer that she's still the number one contender for the Women's World Championship. However, the vacated title will not be determined at Clash in Paris, and so she'll have to wait. And Pierce goes on to say that he just needs to make some final confirmations. And Vaquer laments that she did want to compete at Clash in Paris, but she understands and she doesn't have a problem waiting. What I'm trying to understand is if Vaquer was the number one contender, why not just make her the new interim champion and have her wrestle some folks for it or something? I don't know. But it's whatever.
Yeah. Your guess is as good as mine. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I will say Pierce actually talked softly to Stephanie Vaquer. He wasn't mean to her. A little out of character for him. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah. I thought for sure he would have been like, "Shut up, woman!" She hadn't even been saying that. She was just standing there quiet, but he just come to shut up.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's because she was standing there quietly. He thought he was talking to a man for a minute. Oh,
My
shit.
god. No, because he's been yelling at the men now. Like,
That's
like
true. Yeah.
they're trying to make it like no. He's not a misogynist. He's just an asshole. That's all.
Yeah. That's fine. That's acceptable.
He's an asshole. We all.
And that leads us to Becky Lynch coming to the ring. And I will
Oh my
absolutely turn
God.
this one over for you.
She came out and talked some more shit. That's it. Like, she talked and then she talked some more. And then when she got done talking, she took a break and talked again. And then Nikki came out and ended up challenging Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental title.
Yeah, for the record, Nikki Bella, not Nikki Cross.
Yeah, Nikki Bella, not Nikki. No, Nikki Cross is she doesn't wrestle. She just jumps on people randomly whenever there's an actual match with menfolk. And other than that, she just stands around creepily. Yeah. Okay. She just stands around looking unwashed. That's what she does. Nikki Bella, the woman who simultaneously looks 20 and 40 at the same time. That's what I'm talking about. She comes out.
You're not wrong.
I'm not. That's not even a diss. Sometimes in the light she looks 20, and then other times we're like, oh, okay, so I can tell that she is like in her 40s. Okay. That's not a diss. I wish that I looked 20 in any fucking light. So good job, sweetheart. I'm not talking shit, but she does. But she comes out and she challenges Lynch for the women's intercontinental title. Becky Lynch gets all sourpussed about it, and we all know what happens after that. She pretends like she's just talking, and then she goes in for an attack. But that did not work on Nikki. She tried to attack her, but Bella countered, and then she ended up looking like the boss. Which led us into an announcement that Lynch versus Bella is confirmed for the Clash in Paris. And that's pretty much that. There was lots of talking from Becky though. That I think some people have kind of got upset about some of the shit she said. I'm not really sure what it was, because honestly, I love Becky. I do. But I kind of feel like it's been a little much. Like, this is a lot, Robin. There's been a lot of Becky talking for a lot of time.
Yeah, that precious time.
Yeah,
and here's
exactly.
the issue I have with it. One, promos that are super long-winded without actually much to say really pisses me off when I'm led to believe that you're running out of time for the rest of the show. Like, fucking fix that shit then. God damn it. And Becky keeps coming out and saying literally the same shtick. Like, it's one thing if Seth comes out and says something for like 10, 15 minutes, because he's usually changing it up a bit. Like, he's got a few things that he'll hit, but it feels to me like, Becky Lynch comes out and it's literally the same talking points over and over, almost verbatim, mixed in with like, let me just overtly insult the crowd. And it's like, It's gotten old is the thing. Like it's super old now. So it's really really boring. Like I promise you whenever the last two times on both SmackDown and Raw that she has hit the ring, I'm like, I'm going to go run, if I had to pee, get something to drink, anything. Now is my moment
True
because I
story.
know I will miss literally nothing of substance.
Yeah, true story.
So yeah, I'm with you. I like Becky in the ring, but her shtick and these long-winded promos are super tired.
Yeah.
Not like, ooh, she's a mean villain and I want to see her lose. This is like, oh God, this bitch again. It's not good heat. It's go the fuck off kind of heat. It's not this is the heat that John Cena was having, and it's like, no, 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 we don't want that.
Yeah, that's not the
Um,
heat we want.
no. But following that segment, we are taken to Jackie Redmond, who has a backstage interview with CM Punk. Brr. Um, and Punk says he heard everything LA Knight had to say. He said he's not trying to be anybody's friend here, but he understands what's at stake in Paris. It's every man for himself. And I'm thinking, dude, last week you were trying to form a coalition. You don't understand that it's every man for himself, and you are in fact trying to be everybody's friend and get a favor. And
Everybody's friend.
but shock, fucking Punk is talking out of both sides of his face again. Ooh wee. So in other news, water is still fucking wet. Um, and then he says LA Knight didn't want to play ball. Jay wants to do his own thing, and Seth Rollins is the problem. No, the problem is Punk. Everyone sees through your bullshit, and they know you're going to turn on them the second it's convenient. So let's just all keep the cards on the table. It's every man for their fucking self. You're the only one that seems worried about that. Is it because you realize that you're a fucking bitch? Sorry, that's me cutting a promo on Punk.
Damn.
I
Cold
really don't like that
blooded.
dude. Like I for real don't like that guy. I just don't.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, it was a whole bunch of that crap, and he goes on to say that at Clash in Paris he's going to go back to doing what he does best, and that's being champion. And I won't even get into how he does not do that best ever at all. So that was CM Punk talking to Jackie Redmond. Moving on to shit that's actually fucking relevant. Roman Reigns will apparently be talking to Stephanie on What's Your Story. There you go. That is entirely more relevant than what Punk was talking about. Um, but we do get an answer
Uh,
promo after that from Sheamus, who responded to Rusev. And, I got to give Rusev at least this much credit. Sheamus, with his thick Irish brogue, is actually able to sound coherent and clear when he is responding to the crazy that came out of Rusev.
yeah, true.
Um, and he goes on to say, hey, Rusev, welcome back to the WWE. I never thought I would say that, but when I heard you were coming back, I cringed. The big superstar no one wanted on and no one asked for. And we were like, holy shit, Sheamus is spitting true facts. Like, this is shoot shit right here. Because we
this
felt the
is
same
shit.
way. We were like,
This is
nobody
shoot
gives a
shit.
shit. Nobody wanted him back. And he goes on to say, you know why? It's because you lost your love for the game. You're passionless. And now you're speaking from a darkened room, going around bullying smaller guys and stomping around craving attention. Cringe. Well, over the last couple of weeks, something changed. Our matches and brutal out of the ring exchanges has awoken a fire that I remember. And he says, thanks to me, the world remembers who the real Rusev is. Not yet, or maybe already. We'll have to see. And he says, it's just days away that we'll have the potential show stealer at Clash in Paris. A good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. And he goes on to say to Rusev, you won back my respect, but don't forget that I was the one that had to drag it out of you. So this Sunday, I want you to bring your A game and your aggression, and I want you to try and rip my bleeding head off. I want you to bring the old Rusev back because don't forget, I made you relevant again. from Bulgaria down to France with banger after banger after banger.
Get
Point to
talking.
Sheamus. He wins the promo.
Yeah, real talk. He won that. He didn't even know he was winning it, but he won it.
He did. It gave me vibes that, particularly that last line, "Don't forget I made you relevant again." That made me feel like back in the day when the American Badass Undertaker was very fond of telling his opponents, "I'll make you famous."
Yeah. No, I can see that.
Yep. So that leads into our third match, which is Rhea Ripley versus Roxy Perez with Raquel Rodriguez in tow. And would you like to start off with your thoughts on this match, or shall I?
You know what? You go for it. Take it away.
Um, in summary, I felt like this was a good match. Particularly because, like, on paper, right? You it looks like this is something Rhea Ripley should just be able to step on Roxy. And her
Yeah.
only real threat is going to be Raquel, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But Perez looked good here. Rhea, however, and I say this with much regret, Rhea is starting to frighten me with the disturbing amount of weight loss she seems to be undergoing. Like, she has lost size and weight to an alarming degree, especially noticeable down near her hips, waist, and butt. Like, her little outfit, which she used to fill out quite so nice in that area, looked like it was struggling for purchase a bit. So I don't know what's going on there. I hope Rhea is okay. But that's just my 2 cents, and that's as much as I'll say about it. Because I'm not trying to body shame her, but it does look like, are
Yeah.
you sick? Are you okay? If she's not eating enough, that's called an eating disorder, guys. So, um, or did one too many assholes on the internet make her feel too mannish, and now she's trying to slim down? Something, I hope it's none of that shit, and maybe she just had a stomach bug for a couple of weeks, and she's planning on a bulk back, but she's looking a little too thin, in my opinion, which
Mm-hmm.
is all that is, my opinion. Um, we were treated to the standard array of interference from Raquel, but ultimately Rhea is just too good, and she ends up delivering a massive riptide to Roxy Perez to pick up the victory. However, it's in the events after the match that this really gets more interesting. Um, the Judgment Day, of course, as they are wont to do, double teams Rhea.
Mm-hmm.
And despite everything that was said earlier in the evening, Io comes running out to help save Rhea. And she does. Io is the decisive factor in them getting the one up. And she helps Rhea. And then they like hug in the ring. And the Judgment Day kind of worms their way back to the back. So,
Mm-hmm.
so much for keeping your distance, indeed.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and
following,
that is actually what I was talking about. Like after that,
yeah,
that's what led into the weirdness that we were talking about earlier. But please continue.
no, I believe I was just gonna say that is my thoughts. If you wanted to follow up with your thoughts on that match,
Oh, I feel as if I'm going to agree. Now I don't know if Rhea is looking really skinny or nothing or not. She's slimming out, yes, but she doesn't look massively skinny to me. That again, my opinion. That's all that is. Um, but she is leaning out. Excuse me. I don't know why. Maybe it's a personal preference, or maybe it's a dietary issue, or whatever the case. I do agree that she is getting a little thin, but not so thin that I'm concerned about her. I haven't reached that yet. I would think I would feel that way if I didn't see any muscle mass on her. If she was starting to basically atrophy, then I'd be like, "Oh, what the hell's happening here?" Um, but yeah. Aside from that, though, this was a good match, and again, Roxanne continues to impress. It was a lot. more of the same when it comes to interferences. Of course, because we're talking about Judgment Day, right? You're gonna get some interferences. Um, but excuse me, but I think if I had a number, a star number for this match, I'd give it 4 out of 5. Uh, Pretty entertaining. Rhea and Roxanne work very well together, and Roxanne is definitely the future of the female wrestling division in WWE. She's amazing, and every time I see her, she just keeps getting better, and that's with anybody they put her in the ring with. She works well with everyone so far. So, well done.
I can dig that. All right. Well, moving on from that match, we are taken to Seth Rollins' locker room where the Vision have collected. And Seth loves that Bronson Reed is super pissed off.
He
And he
loves
knows
it.
that he loves it. Like he is laughing maniacally as Seth is wont to do. And he says he knows that Bronson's going to destroy Roman Reigns at Clash in Paris, and he can't wait to see it. And then he turns his attention to Braun Breaker, who he is extremely, like, ridiculously fond of slapping in the back and on the shoulder, like just playing taps on the guy. And he says he wants to make sure that LA Knight doesn't even make it to Paris. And he says, this is the Vision. It's everything we've dreamed of and so much more. And laughs maniacally some more. And then after
More
that,
maniacal laughter.
we're taken to the segment that you were referring to where Io Sky and Rhea are talking after the save was made.
Yeah.
Did you want to speak to that?
Well, I mean, I feel like we did, but this is also where Oscar comes up. So this is like everything that I told you guys about earlier, where Rhea's like rubbing her knee or whatever, and Oscar's leaning in. She might as well been rubbing her knee for her. Like she could have been just given where you know what I mean? Like she was close enough. Uh, and then Rhea walks away, and then Io turns around, and there's creepy Oscar with her friend poor Kyrie, who's just stuck in the middle with shit, so like
Yeah. Yep.
she's stuck in the middle with them trying to, I guess smooth things over, but she's not doing a very good job at it because she just kind of stands around bewildered, and then she'll either say sorry or just kind of and then runs. So but Io turns around, and Asuka is freaking pissed. And she says that Rhea is not family. Asuka and Io continue to bicker with each other. Asuka says that she wants Io to stop talking to Rhea, and then she walks away. Uh, Io tells Kyrie to trust her, and Kyrie walks away visibly upset. And that's that.
Yeah. And it's just a weird vibe. Like it's like
Weird.
lovers quarrel instead
It's
of
weird.
like
Yeah,
friends. And so it's a bit strange.
it's weirdness, y'all. To me, I mean,
But
it's fucking weird, but
yeah, no, I agree. Um and I'm not sure if they're intentionally going for that style, but that's kind of how it's landing. At least that's how we're seeing it.
yeah.
Um But that brings us to the fourth match of the night, the previously mentioned match between AJ Styles and Finn Balor. Apparently, Adam Pearce was like, "Oh hell yeah, yeah, have that match. That'll be great." Um,
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're so pressed for time, since like half the matches get made on the show.
Yeah, right then and
Hmm.
there. Right
Yeah.
then.
But did you want to offer your thoughts on this match?
Uh, yeah. AJ Styles and Finn Balor, is kind of Russell Christmas. We're talking 2 seasoned professionals. Um, AJ, and they're both. Remember when I have said that AJ Styles could do pretty much the same move set that he had 20 years ago, he could still perform. That
Hmm.
is also Finn Balor. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. Finn is in as good a shape as he's ever been in, like ever.
right.
Like that dude, whatever he's doing, it's working.
Yeah. Uh, like I don't know if that man has seen a carb since 1996. But
Hmm.
whatever the case, good on you, my man. Because my man, good on you, my man. That's what I just said. Uh, good on you, bro. But yeah. So this is a good match, high energy, especially for, because I mean, you often don't see wrestlers in this age bracket going this hard on the paint. Um, but they did. These two did. AJ and Finn put on, I think, a banger. Probably one of my favorite matches of the night. Um, and that's me saying that even though I was not very into AJ for a while. I'm not sure what happened. I honestly, I'm not being funny. I don't know what happened. Like, cause I mean, he was a good wrestler then. He's a good wrestler now. So I don't know what it is. Maybe more personality. Maybe his very short run heel turn. I'm not sure. But whatever the case, I am up on AJ Styles, and him and Finn gave me a banger of a match, um, which resulted in AJ Styles winning via the Styles Clash, and I'm happy about that too. Um, I would give this match maybe 4 out of 5, uh, because I mean, uh, there's really not much that was bad about it. Um, Formulaic, sure. Uh, what you would expect to happens before and after the match happened. You know, I mean, but I mean, uh, good match. I thought it was. I'm trying to decide if it's my favorite. I'm thinking it might have been my favorite. My favorite match of the night. I
I can
said.
dig that.
I said one of, but I think maybe it was. What did you think?
I think it's tough to tell because there's one other.
Yeah.
But this was a banger. I mean, straight up. Offering my thoughts, this was an excellent match. And because of earlier events in the night, there was like no help from the Judgment Day. So this was straight up
Yeah.
AJ and Finn. Mysterio is outright avoiding AJ. In fact, he asked Finn to take care of it for him. So why would he be out there? And JD was beat up from earlier in the evening. So you just get a classic from AJ and Finn who
Yep.
like work great together. And I do know you mentioned something about like why weren't you up on these guys before? Well, back when we watched a pay-per-view where they were in it and they had a match, it's nobody cared. And I think that's the difference is that the recent events with AJ like stalking Mysterio, including, going and costing him the AAA title and him showing up, when Mysterio was like, I've got a doctor's note. And so you get the many faces of AJ in disguise. That kind of shit like is fantastic for building up some personality and some character, which was always kind of the milk toast problem of Finn and AJ.
Yeah.
Um, Similarly with Finn, Finn's gotten an opportunity to show off more of his personality and quirkiness being part of the Judgment Day. Because it's not like the dude couldn't go in the ring.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
never the problem. Never the problem with AJ Styles either. They just needed a personality and a character for folks to latch onto and care about what's happening and have some stakes because if two guys get in the ring and you're like, okay, whatever, they can put on a banger of a match that you might or might like give a shit, but you probably won't because you don't have any dog in the fight.
Yeah.
So it makes a big difference to use the character building and the stories to give some stakes and investment into the outcome of the match. Otherwise, it could
Steak.
be a great match just all on its own, but it's not nearly as good as if you care about who wins. or
Yeah.
at least know the two guys that are involved.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I think that's my answer to why it matters is or what the difference was is that, AJ
Yeah.
and Finn, we knew about them, but they didn't register. They weren't big characters. So now we're more interested in what they're doing. Um and yeah, it had a strong, like a really nice finish too, because I want to say AJ attempts to get, after avoiding the coup de grace from Finn, AJ tries to get Finn rolled up in the calf crusher, but Finn counters with a double leg takedown and attempts to do a jackknife pin, but then AJ counters that into the aforementioned Styles clash. So it was a really cool back and forth into the finish, and so it was
Yeah.
actually really neat, and it shows just how well these two guys can go in the ring together.
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of my take on that match. It was one of the better matches of the night for sure. And the only reason I'm hesitant to say if it was my favorite is because the final match of the night was actually a real banger too, and we'll
Yeah.
get to that. But following that match, we see Jey Uso kind of talking to someone. Like we don't know who he's talking to. He's expressing concerns and frustrations about, the events of this fatal four-way and like who to trust, who not to trust, that kind of thing. And we find out he's talking to Roman Reigns, like he is actually seeking counsel with Roman, and Roman is actually offering him this counsel. It's very different character for Roman Reigns. Like we're seeing an evolution of Roman Reigns here as being like, a good family member.
Yeah.
Like it's not all about me. Um and that will continue into the next bit, but it was really cool. And so Jay is talking about how he's conflicted about CM Punk LA Knight drama and doesn't know who he can trust. And Roman says the last thing Jay should be worrying about is CM Punk's trust. Fucking men. And Jay doesn't have to help anybody. Roman says smash them all and take the World Heavyweight Championship back to your family. It's not about being one of the boys and making friends. It's about capturing these moments and locking
Yeah.
in their legacy. And then Roman says, but hey, that's just my viewpoint on the situation and that Jay needs to be himself. And I was like, wow, wow, that was pretty good.
Yeah. Solid advice.
Yeah. So a neat segment that shows some sort of character development happening with Roman Reigns, and I'm here for it
And
in
possibly
the
Jey
most
Uso.
major way. Yeah, and Jey Uso. Um, Then we get a Bailey vignette, and we were
Yeah.
waiting for this all night. We were like, "What's happening with Crazy Bailey?"
Yeah. Now there's another one that sounds like the good Bailey that's chatting in her ear. But then her and the crazy Bailey started arguing, and then that intensified until Bailey had to yell at them to yada yada. Um and I like that's pretty much it. Like we hear the voices that are popping off in Bailey's head, but we also get to see her respond to them. Like she's like, "Yeah, that's true. No, she has a point." And I'm like, "Uh-oh, she's the other person on the bus that I wouldn't sit next to."
Mhm.
Um but I'm here for this. Whatever this crazy shit is, I hope that it gets real good. Uh, but that leads us to Lyra again. This time, Lyra. Remember when she was like, "It's not my problem. I'm not worried
It's
about
not my fault. It's not my problem.
Remember
This
when
ain't
that was?
funny. I've got school. No,
No, no,
sorry.
I've got school. No, no, I'm not laughing. I've got school. Yeah,
Yeah,
that.
yeah, but that
But
was her,
now,
like, back when Bailey first showed signs of being, like, a little cracked, and she's like, "It's not my fault. I didn't do it. It's not my problem."
I didn't do that. I got other shit to do. But now she's gone from that to talking to Pierce backstage and going, have you talked to Bailey? Like, you see some shit's going on with her. She might need some help. But she's generally concerned about Bailey now. Um,
Yep. And Pierce
so
is all like, "We haven't heard anything, but as soon as we know something, I'll let you know."
yeah.
And Laura's like, like all super worried now,
Yeah.
whereas before she was like, "Fuck Bailey and everything she stands for."
I don't give a fuck. And now she's like, well,
Yeah, it almost looks as if she's worried someone needs to check on her, and it's going to
mm,
end up being her. And we called this. We
yeah,
called
it's
this
gonna be
like
her.
a PLE or two ago. That
True
Lyra
story.
will be the one that needs to help Bailey, and Bailey has to get the belt off of. Yeah, so we'll see if it fully plays out, but it's currently in the right direction.
Yeah, we will see. Um, what was after that? Oh, after that, I think we got Braun Breaker and
Bronson Reed,
Bronson Reed. Yeah,
yeah,
are
making
about
their
to make
way
their
to the
way up,
ring.
making their way to the ring, and then Roman was like, "Are you sure about that?" And just came out of nowhere and attacks them both. I think we got a Superman punch. Uh, I don't think we got a spear.
No, if I remember correctly, Roman Reigns, as we're seeing Braun and Paul Heyman, and then kind of back behind them, Bronson Reed, Breaker's making his way to the ring, and Roman comes flying in from like out of scene and smashes him. Like it's more of a shove than anything else. He just shoves him into a whole bunch of those like shipping crates that they travel with, the little storage containers, but he shoved him hard, and Braun was like Bark. And then he
Yeah.
turns his attention to Bronson Reed, and that's where you get that Superman punch you were talking about.
Yes. Ah, so good.
Yeah. And again, this is another like this is Roman going out of his way to watch Jay's back. Like preemptively, he smashes Braun Breaker, and then he goes on to smash Bronson Reed because Bronson Reed's his opponent in Paris.
Yeah.
And then like all of the security staff and Adam Pierce show up, and Reigns and Reed get ejected from the arena, but Reigns doesn't care because he's laid them both out, and he's like, fuck you fuckers. And um Pierce then turns and is yelling at Breaker and Heyman when Breaker was the one that was assaulted, and he's like,
Yeah.
get to the ring, you bastard. And
Jesus, what did they
we were
do?
like, what the hell did, like, I know Breaker's the heel here, but damn, dude, they're the ones that got attacked.
You're
Um,
gonna yell at them because they're heels? Like, damn it! This is your fault.
seriously,
If
but
you
it
weren't a
it
heel, you would have been attacked.
it doesn't get better for Breaker because before he can even rally to do that, LA Knight comes onto the scene and starts beating his ass, and he proceeds to beat his ass all the way out to the ring. And I remember thinking, so Roman Reigns and LA Knight can basically assault Braun Breaker all the way to the ring. And this match still happens. But on SmackDown, Damian Priest comes to the ring to substitute for R-Truth. And him and Alistair throw two punches at each other, and somehow they can't have a match there. Come on, guys. Pick a
Yeah.
lane.
No, it's
But
too dangerous.
I guess. But at any rate, LA Knight is like super aggressive here. Like the announcers are definitely pointing out the fact that this is a more aggressive LA Knight. Like he means business. Like, and he has taken it to Breaker. Like they get into the ring, the match gets started, and Knight is on Breaker like white on rice. Like he is all over him and is just beating him up. And
Yeah.
this was an impressive match between these two guys. Would you like me to go ahead and give my thoughts on this match?
Sure.
All right. Well, pre-match beatings notwithstanding, this turns out to be an absolute clinic between Breaker and Knight.
Yeah.
both of these guys showed off their best stuff. Like, there was a point where, of course, LA Knight is up on the top rope and Breaker's going to try and do a superplex, and Knight knocks him down, and this leads to him running up the ropes and delivering the Breakensteiner. And I think after I saw that, I think I even said, well, now they just need to turn it around and have LA Knight set him up on the top rope and then get knocked down, and then he runs up and does a superplex. And they did that. And
Yeah.
so these two guys gave you absolutely their entire playbook. I think the only move that didn't get shown, unless it happened during a commercial, of which there were no shortages, was Breaker doing that dive off the apron across the announce table. But otherwise, like, both of these guys just beat the hell out of each other for a while. Like, this was
Yeah.
a really solid main event. Um, and I'll go ahead and just kind of leave it there, because everything beyond that point, beyond where this was a super great match between these two guys, that inspires me to want to see LA Knight versus Braun Breaker again. And super side note, Braun Breaker is ridiculously strong.
Yeah,
Like,
he
LA
has
Knight is a
goodness.
big dude. Like, he's like a big 240, 250, somewhere in that ballpark. And there were a couple of times that he bodied LA Knight um like it was easy, like it was
Yeah.
effortless, including
Yep.
an overhead press.
He
And
overshot it, man.
there was one point, yeah, there was one point where LA Knight was setting up for a move, and I think like Braun Breaker accidentally sneezed or something, and LA Knight flew over his back. Like, they had to recover it because, like, Breaker is so fucking stupid strong. But that was the sidebar, and I'll leave it there, because what happens after the match, I'll leave for you to discuss when you're giving your thoughts. But yeah, this was a real banger. It's this one and the match between AJ and Finn, and it's tough because I honestly think I'm going to say, for me, it was this main event, because it was wildly unexpected for LA Knight and Breaker to put on such a good match. Whereas I don't know if this should be a ding against them. I don't think it is, but I expect it out of AJ and Finn. Like, they've tangled together a lot.
Yeah.
But I was pleasantly surprised by how Knight and Breaker worked here. And with that, I will turn it over to you.
Yeah. I agree with you. A Braun Breaker is ridiculously strong. Um, B LA Knight just keeps getting better with every match that he is in. Same thing for Breaker. Breaker does not look like a noob to this industry at all. Like
Mm-mm.
yeah, he it's in his blood. It has sank into his flesh. It's him. Um, and you're right. I did expect. I did expect for Finn and AJ to give us a good match, technically speaking. What I didn't expect for them was to give me an entertaining match, one that I was invested in. I didn't expect that, and that's what I got from Finn and AJ, which is why that's probably still going to be my match of the night. However, this main
Totally fair.
event, yeah, this main event was pretty freaking killer. Uh, LA Knight is probably one of my top favorites in WWE. Um, just because his promos are off the wall. He's pretty chill. And technically speaking, he's a good wrestler. Like I don't see him give me bullshit too often. Um, and the same can be said for Breaker. Breaker reminds me of a very angry 3-year-old when he does his temper tantrum face. Um,
Hmm.
which makes me laugh, but I promise you that it's not something I would ever do to him face to face. Um,
No, because he can back up that temper tantrum with
y-
alarming ferocity.
yeah, hey, I do not want that smoke. Me nor my bones want that smoke. So, we're cool. Um, but yeah, overall, this was definitely a killer match, if not the match of the night. Definitely one of the best. And I think I would give this one uh probably the same, four to 5 stars here. Because it was just a good fucking match. Of course, I believe that it ended up being a match that Breaker won because I believe he speared Knight when Rollins distracted him. Like Rollins
Correct.
yeah, and then he speared the ever loving bejesus out of LA Knight. His name shortly became LA Ghost. Uh Literally punched his
Ellie.
spirit out of his body, out of the world, right back into the spiritual realm. He freaked out for a moment, but he came back. But then after that, so after he won the match, we all know that that's not the end. um, After that, I believe they went in for the attack. They being the Vision. Like I think Seth gets into the ring and starts beating the snot out of LA Knight. But then Jey Uso comes out and he starts to help LA Knight. And then whenever he was down, CM Punk came out and started to assist. And once they ran, essentially, it ran the Vision out of the ring, and it was just Jey Uso, CM Punk, and LA Knight. The bickering started again. I think LA Knight started in on CM Punk, like, maybe telling him he didn't need any help or whatever. I love when wrestlers say that shit, like I didn't need any help when when 2 seconds before that they were about to be stains on the mat. All of a sudden they're like, I didn't need any help. I
Well,
could have, you know.
I recall actually because I heard him say it, even though they weren't mic'd up.
What do you say?
Um, because Punk stepped over him to get to Jay, he was mad that Punk stepped over him like a corpse.
Oh Lord. Okay, well that's even more ridiculous. So, that started an altercation between them, and then Jay tried to break it up, and they were not feeling that. Um, so then, excuse me. I don't know how did it end up happening. I know that what happened was, uh, Jay ended up giving CM Punk a super kick. Um, and then he gave LA Knight a super kick. He both of them got them feet that night.
Yep.
And he was
Kind
left standing tall.
the way it played out was Punk and Knight are, getting into it and then it becomes a brawl and Punk shoves LA Knight into Jay, who was kind of already in the corner, and
Yep,
so they
right, right.
smash into him. And then Punk then picks up Knight, who bounced off of Jay in for the go to sleep. But Knight kind of falls off the back of it, and that's when Jay super kicks LA Knight. And then Punk is standing there next to Jay, and they're both looking down at LA Knight. And then Jay looks over at Punk and super kicks the shit out of him. And then, he's hands held high. And it sort of indicates that Jay is done trying to play peacemaker. He's here for that belt.
Yeah. As he should be.
And the whole time, the Vision is looking on, going, look, 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 look.
Yes, that's
They're
right.
gonna take each other out. I also would like to make a special note of the fact that when Breaker pulled Seth out of the ring and then Seth told him to back up and not run back in there, the crowd started loudly chanting that Seth's a pussy.
Yes.
I had never heard that chant before. God bless you, Birmingham. That was fucking hilarious.
And I don't know if you caught it, but Seth was trying his best not to laugh at that. Uh, he was. Look, Birmingham had them laughing like they were fucking out of just out of pocket the entire
Yeah.
night, and
Yeah.
it was fantastic.
I do
Um,
think I remember the first time they yelled that. They were like, Seth's a pussy. And we heard, even though the camera was facing into the ring, not at them, we heard Seth say, No, I'm not. It was
yes,
like, what?
no, I'm not. Which we found highly amusing. Also, when Jay super kicked LA Knight, that sent Seth into like a frenzy. But then when he kicked CM Punk, he was Seth was so joyous. He just kept going, yeet, yeet.
Mhm. So, of course, the Vision is thrilled with this because it's
Of
like
course.
these guys aren't going to be on the same page, but all of the Vision will be in a fatal four way where all of the Vision can interfere.
Yeah.
So, I think I don't change my answer from when this match first got formed, which was that it's absolutely, even though it was intended to look like this is bad for Seth, this is absolutely in Seth's favor.
Yeah. So
So go ahead.
I uh I am a huge fan of that episode. I don't know if you know, but and I don't know if it was this episode or not, but apparently Roman Reigns attacked Rollins, Breaker, and Reed again backstage and gave Rollins a chair shot. I don't know. And I gotta look it up. I didn't want to do all the typey while we were talking, but I saw it. I saw that somewhere, and I'm not sure if that's what happened because I don't know if it was that episode. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, I haven't heard anything about that. Like what I know about this episode and what transpired ends with Jay super kicking CM Punk as it goes off the air. So if
Yeah,
something else happened after that, I'm out of the loop on that one.
yeah. So don't quote me on that, y'all. But I think that's something that happened after the show. Uh,
Mm,
if I get documentation of that, then I will make mention or say so on the next podcast.
sounds good. Well, with regards to this podcast, how would you rate this episode of WWE Raw?
I gotta give it at least an 8. At least an 8. It has to be top tier because there are so many matches that I said not one match was below a 3. Um they were all quality matches. So I gotta give it an 8, 8.5.
Nice, nice. All right. Well, I am inclined to agree with your assessment. Despite any quibbles I may have had about certain things, the biggest quibble I had is just how many god awful commercials there are. And I can't really hold that against the quality of the show. I just wish the WWE would calm down with that shit because it's difficult. Like you're sitting there watching and you just get through clicking through commercials to immediately watch 2 minutes of the show and be back to needing to click through the commercials. It was very jarring. Like it's hard for like a train of thought, it takes me out of it. Um, but yeah, I would give this an 8.0 because the two matches were really, really good with Finn and AJ and a sleeper banger between LA Knight and Braun Breaker. You add to that several of the promo segments were interesting, even if the one with Rhea and Io and the Kabuki Warriors is a little odd. I'm not sure where we're
Yeah.
going with that one. Um, I think the only thing that was kind of meh was probably Penta and the New Day. Um, that's about it, and it's not enough to tank any of what was super good, which is Roman Reigns having some new character development, Bronson Reed getting his character more developed, developing interest for Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed's match, as well as promoting the Fatal Four Way for the World Heavyweight Championship with the Vision and the top contenders. it did all of that and then some. And so I have to agree, this was absolutely top tier. I'll give it 8 neck nubs for my
Yeah,
review.
okay. Yeah, I agree. Eight, eight
So
and a half. It was good.
yeah. So that concludes our review of WWE's Raw from August 25th. And I want to thank everybody who has listened to this episode, and I invite you to join us for our next episode, which should be our coverage of the WWE SmackDown. And I believe with Clash in Paris coming right along the heels, that particular SmackDown might be the go home show. So we may also be hitting a podcast for Clash in Paris here real soon. So by all
Yep.
means, please join us for those. Until then, I don't think there's anything left for me to do but roll the outro.
Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Top Tier Wrestling. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the latest AEW and WWE news and shows. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. Follow us on social media for updates and to join the conversation. Until next time, everyone, remember, wrestling is always better when it's top tier.